כץ, בבקשה.
שלום עליכם, מלאכי השלום, מלאכי השלום, מלאכי עליון, מי מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא, הקדוש ברוך הוא, צאתכם לשלום, מלאכי השלום, מלאכי השלום, מלאכי עליון, מלאכי המלאכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא, הקדוש ברוך הוא. Every single place that I look, that all of us are looking, we see you, Tom. We see you in every wall in our house, every nail, every bench, every window. We see you all over the shul, everywhere. But more than that, I see you in we all do. We see you in the walls of our hearts. And I know that so many people would have loved to share words right now. And I'm just davening that I'm a shaliach ne'eman for what many people would like to express. You got in. You got into all of our hearts. And you were all heart, love, and soul. You were a live tabor. You're a pure heart. How else do you explain this profound, profound, profound heartbreak felt by all of us, all ages? A common theme of conversations last night that we had with some of the chevra was petrified of telling our children. Because our children felt so acknowledged by you. They were seen by you. It's like they lost their favorite person. They lost their favorite person of their childhood. They lost that person that provided them such a fun and safe haven just by being you, a presence of light, pure love. And I think more than all, like Kfar said to me last night before she went to sleep, she said, Abba Tom lived a lot. He really lived. I think that it's so easy to attach one very important teaching that describes you. course, it's coming right out of the book. The book, the way that you learn Torah was like no one else in the world. And right out of our parsha, and it's a teaching that we've tried to explain so many years in different ways, and here you are, and all of us, it's so clear to us. Some people talk about redemption, some people dream about redemption, some people, to the extent that they're capable of, live redemption lives. You did, I don't know at what point in life this happened, but you were done with Babylon. You were done with Mitzrayim. And in our Parsha, when it speaks about redemption, we've learned this so many times that one of the languages of redemption is Ve'otzeti etchem tachat sivrot Mitzrayim. Sevel doesn't just mean pain. It means to tolerate, to bear. And in the Hasidic teachings, all the tzaddikim explain that redemption, a redeemed person is someone who's simply not willing to tolerate the Egypt in their life, the exile in their life. That person's ready for the real redemption. And from the moment that at least I met you, it was very clear that this is who we're standing in front of. I feel as though you were a real meaning of what it means to be a Talmid Chacham. Not in the sense that you were doing Siyum Shasas, but a Talmid Chacham is a student that's smart. That's what it actually means. And a student that's smart is someone that always remains a student and that always keeps on learning. And you never stop learning. You never reached this peak that said, okay, I got it now, I got it. Constantly learning, constantly applying, constantly davening over what you learned to make sure that you were staying loyal to the truth that you carried in such a unique way. The truth is, brother, you definitely had me when you told me that you opened for Buffalo Springfield. I couldn't believe it. But you really had me the first night we met in the Rosen Sukkah on Pitum. And that night you told me, you basically humbled the daylights out of me. And you said, you believe with complete faith that whoever lives here is hand-picked. And that's been our motto ever since. It doesn't matter which shul you daven in, it doesn't matter what you look like. If you're chosen to live here at this time in life, you're hand-picked. For what? For family business. Family business. Part of the name of one of the many names of the bands that you so beautifully played your heart and soul out with. All Purim every year, Purim, I was happy that everyone was around, but I just waited for my times. Mishloach manot. You'd show up exactly at the moment that it was either going to get really, really nutty, dark, crazy, or take it to the highest heights, and you showed up. And your Mishloach Manot was a new song that you wrote for that Purim. And I'm so thankful to so many of the Chevra here that captured so many of these moments. I want to publicly, from the bottom of my heart, thank HaKadosh Baruch Hu, because lo muvan me'elav, that we were blessed to go through this Gilgul, being touched by such a person. And it's hard to describe to someone on the outside that asks, well, how old was he? How long did you know him? It's beyond time and space, it was completely irrelevant. And Deb and the whole crew, family business, you're our family forever. And we love you guys with all our hearts and souls. And as long as we're alive, whether we like it or not, Tom's precious smile, his bright smile, and his love will continue, please God, to be a torch in our lives for how to be a mensch, how to be a good person, how to look for life in everything, how to make sure that every day, that slice of bread, that it counts, that we're doing our best. Teheh nishmatcha hayikara והאהובה צרורה בצרור החיים.
רב החיים, חבר המשפחה, רב המשפחה.
It is difficult to know where to begin. The Mishnah in Masechet Avot discusses some of the traits, the characteristics of the Jewish people. Talmido shel Avraham Avinu olav shalom. One of them is Nefesh Shefala, lowly of spirit. In other words, truly humble in a truly fundamental sense, not false modesty, not modesty learned by effort over the years, but true, organic, intrinsic modesty. Our brother, known to most of us as Tom, whose real name was Ariel ben Avraham Yehuda, was also a Ba'al Ain Tova. He truly wished and desired to help people. He went out of his way to help people to solve their problems. I, of course, am speaking first of all about myself. All the various things I could begin to relate to in my house that he set right, that he fixed, that I would look at and say, I don't know what to do with this. How do you fix this? Tom would come over, and within a short space of time, everything was more than fixed. I'm sure I speak of an experience that many people here are familiar with. But he didn't just do it because that was what he did. He did it because he truly wanted to help. In fact, Dvorah here mentioned to me just the other day that whenever I would call up Tom and say, Tom, I have this little problem, perhaps you can swing by and take a look at it, he would say, yay, fantastic, I have something to fix up at his house, which he always did with the greatest of pleasure. Tom was truly, without exaggeration, a Hasid. It says in the Talmud Bavli in Masechet Berachot about someone who passes away, who is worthy, we say, Hasid, Arno, how pious, how much in connection with Hashem, and how modest was this person as a student of Avraham Avinu. But this is not just a regular student of Avraham Avinu. This is someone who came from so far away, had seen so many things in life, and he knew in his soul that he had to join the Jewish people, become one of the Jewish people, and live in the land of the Jewish people. It relates in the Talmud Yerushalmi in Moed Katan that once there was a Jew who had a great mitzvah of Yibum to perform, but in order to perform that mitzvah of Yibum he would have to travel overseas, he would have to leave Eretz Yisrael, because his brother had lived in Chutz La'aretz. He went to a great Chacham, big Rav in his community, and he told him, this is the situation, am I allowed to leave Eretz Yisrael to perform this mitzvah? The Chacham said to him, not only may you not go, but I'll tell you why you may not go, because tomorrow or the next day or whatever it happens, I will pass away from this world. And I will meet your ancestors in the next world, and they will say to me, that fine, beautiful sapling that we planted in Eretz Yisrael, you allowed him to leave the Eretz Yisrael and go elsewhere? Ariel ben Avraham Yehuda was such a person, connected in all the fibers of his soul to Eretz Yisrael and to the Jewish people. He was truly a Hasid and an Arno, modest and righteous, and a credit to himself and to his family and to all those who knew him. And his very sudden and rapid departure from us leaves us all, I'm sure, shocked and dismayed. Let us all, Bezrat Hashem, learn to follow in his footsteps, to be modest, lowly in spirit, and always willing to help our fellow man. Ariel ben Avraham Yehuda, my friend, our friend, Hayeh Shalom.
I said I wasn't going to speak because all I do is cry. So all I wanted to say, I mean, he was a good man, there's no doubt. All of you know that. But about 2 months ago, I started hearing a voice that said over and over the same thing. The precious ones will be taken before the wrath to come. And he was a precious one. There's no doubt. We had a beautiful life, and he's in a good place. And the kids are such a blessing. All that they talk about, all the things that he taught them. It's been a beautiful time for us. But I just wanted to say that. Who's next? Sorry.
חבר הטוב, דורי, כן, בבקשה. I want
want to start by sharing words from another very, very close friend, a brother of Tom's who's not here, Yakir, who's traveling, which is exactly what Tom would want him to be doing right now. Hard times in the neighborhood. Love you forever, Tom. Thanks for believing in all of us and being our best friend, keeping us focused on what's important, not letting us ever ignore our connection with the one, the land, with Jerusalem and each other, and the promise of the great day. You saw it, smelt it, and tasted it, even when things got dark in the world. You always told it like it was and humbled me endlessly with your smile. Words do no justice for the honor I've had to pick with you in every imaginable concoction. I could play with you forever and ever. I feel like we always have and always will. Thanks for helping me find myself in your music, all the broken pieces I never wanted to look at. You helped me look at them, love them, and put them back together again. The stories we've told each other through those precious notes, I hold in my heart and soul forever. Each and every one, a blessing. I love you and miss you so damn much. Keep in touch and give Hashem a hug for me. I promise we'll make you proud, Tom. We'll get it together. I'm the firstborn in my family. At a later age, I found out that I had an older brother. I actually liked being the oldest, but I was happy to give it over to him. Somebody asked me the other day, I'm sure they were just trying to be sweet, and actually in the end it was very comforting, but they asked me to tell them in one word what was going on with Tom. This was maybe 2 or 3 days ago. So following the advice of Rav Shlomo, who's really helped me through this whole process, in particular on what to say and when to say it and how to say it, he's told me just to daven on it. So I told the person, hang on, I have to daven first. And I said some Pirkei Tehillim like I do every day. And I've been saying the Pirkei Tehillim according to Tom's age, according to Chabad custom, Ayin Tet. And when I finished saying Tehillim, I came up, the word was right there in front of me. And it's still true, even though he's not physically in this world anymore. The one word to describe Tom and what's going on with Tom is loved. Tom is maybe one of the most loved people that I've ever met. He loved everybody, and everybody who ever even just saw him, forget to meet him, they loved him. He was much more than a friend to everybody. And if 30 plus years that we have between us seems like a lot for a person to be close friends with somebody, he has close friends who are 2 years old. Really, I mean, you're laughing because you know it's true. 2-year-olds. Tom connected on a soul level with everybody that he came in contact with. Someone shared an idea with me this morning, which I think is very appropriate. You know, Tom had a few different nicknames. One of them was Rabbeinu Tam. One of them is Rabbeinu Tam. And the person shared that Rabbeinu Tam to them, not this Rabbeinu Tam, but Rabbeinu Tam in general, is a concept of adding on. Tom, you added on so much to all of our lives. And I think it's appropriate that's one of your nicknames. And hopefully will continue to inspire all of us to keep adding on, keep doing more. Today's Chaf Dalet, it's the yahrzeit of the Alter Rebbe, which of course, Tom, you know, you're going to go out with the giants. But it's also in the Tehillim Yomi, for everybody who says Tehillim Yomi, and if you don't, you should start saying it, I encourage you. It's Hallel. We said Hallel this morning, those who said Tehillim, or who are going to say Tehillim. Tom, that is so much about who you are. It's just giving praise and giving thanks. And so every year on your yard site, Tehillim Yomi, we're going to all be saying Hallel for you. You would talk about how, especially our community, but just all the people in general, are a gigantic tapestry or a puzzle. But you always looked at it differently, always described it as one that started in the center and was constantly being added to on the edges. And whenever a hand-picked piece or a thread would come around, it would fit in perfectly, exactly where it needed to be. But that the puzzle and the tapestry was always complete in whatever form it was in, but also constantly being added onto. You know, I think everybody who ever heard you play music loved you playing, but you had this amazing way of seeing it very clearly that it wasn't a performance. And thank you to Hershey for posting this recently. It reminded me what you would say, which was, we don't do concerts, we don't do gigs, we don't do shows. We do communal experiences. You made me see very clearly, because you would say it to me all the time, that life is about relationships and experiences. And you can really look at life and strip everything else away, and that's what you're left with. You created relationships with everybody you came in contact with, and through that came beautiful experiences. We're the people of the book. You were 100% and always were a person of the book. Tom has tie-dyed Tanakh at home. If you look at his Tanakh, it's all highlighters, every color in the rainbow. Worn out, practically. When he learned, he would sit there with Deb most of the time, highlighting away, and almost every word, he would sit there with a Tanakh and a dictionary. Because it wasn't enough. Nobody translated anything correctly for Tom. And he would sit there and he would tear the words apart, etymology, and think about new meaning. And every pasuk you could look at, and every combination of meanings of the word would mean something different. And that's how Tom learned, and there's so much to learn from that. But as the people of the book, why aren't we focusing more on learning the book? I'm going to take on to learn more of the book myself, and I think we all need to. People ask others all the time, how you doing? How are you? Right? It's a totally common question. And sometimes it's obvious how you feel you should respond, but Tom always responded exactly in the same way. You say, Tom, how you doing? And he'd say, I am. You can't answer me verbally in me asking you that question right now, but I know that the answer still remains the same, and it always will. I love it.
הנכדה לאה, בבקשה.
Pops. The proud owner of the Lido Hotel. And everyone was welcome at the Lido Hotel, no matter who you were or what your political beliefs were, just not at the Shabbos table. With your live music and dance performances, you always knew how to put a smile on everyone's faces. You taught us how to be dedicated. You taught us the meaning of family. You taught us how to be grateful for what we have and for the people around us, to not take anything for granted. In your last days, you brought our family together again, and even though we didn't always agree with each other, we stood by each other's side in those hard times because that's what you would have wanted, and that's what a family does, to not be divided and to be united. The last night in the ICU, when we were talking about one of the residents of the hotel, don't remember exactly what was said, but we were all on the floor laughing uncontrollably, and Emil was laughing, saying the usual quote, "Y'all are so funny." And she was laughing uncontrollably too. And we realized that's a happy moment in those times that we will always remember. That's your legacy, Pops. Pure moments of joy, laughter, and happiness. There's no other way to remember you. Singing and dancing together on Friday night, yelling at us to go take a walk, or playing traffic when we wouldn't behave. Moments of joy, love, and family. Pops, words cannot describe what you mean to me. You have taught me so much in my life about how to be a better person and be grateful for the cards you have been dealt with in the game of life. You have always been a father figure to me, and I will never forget all the great memories with you. I know in my heart you will be with us always, in spirit. I'm sad to see you go, but I know you are in a better place. I love you so much. Obi. Pops, you have been a role model for me in every way I can ask for. I appreciate all the texts that you sent me during my time in Miluim. Thank you for always being there for me, helping me with everything I needed. No words can describe the kind of man you were, but if they could, would be here all day. I always remember all the great memories we had together. I know you will be taking care of me from up there. P.S. I know I still owe you that bottle of arak. Love, Akiva. Pops, the one thing I keep closest to heart from you is the time you let me work with you and Obi on one of those neighbors' balconies during my mourning period for my father. That was one crappy job, but the fact is that even in my lowest time, you had my back and kept my spirit up. That sums up what you mean to me. I'm not your grandson by blood, but you will and always be my grandfather. I already miss you and your positive presence. Thank you for letting me into your beautiful family, and for that I will forever be grateful. Love, Ellie. Pops, for as long as I could remember, you were always a father figure in my life. You taught me so much as a kid, and today I use your wisdom to raise my own kids. It's really hard to believe that you're gone, but I know that you wouldn't want us to be sad, because you're in a better place, up there with Buddy, friends, and family. I know the last 2 years were not easy, Pops, but staying up with you those last 2 nights, holding your hand and reading Tehillim, and just living in that moment were so peaceful and special to me. And even then I felt like you were giving me a life lesson, to not live with regret. The world seems a little less brighter without you here, Pops, but don't worry, we're going to live life to the fullest like you would have wanted for all of us. So today we celebrate your life, your legacy, and we will cherish all the many memories that Hashem gave us with you. Thank you for teaching us and giving us so many lessons. Thank you for being our Pops. And thank you, Hashem, for giving us the honor to have such an amazing soul be part of our lives. And don't worry about Ima, Pops. You guys live in such an amazing community with great friends, and we will always have her back. Tell Buddy hello for us, Pops. We love you.
הקוויה במלא אומר, הסתכל בשלושה דברים ונדבה לידי עבירה. דע מיין באת ולאן אתה הולך, לפני מי אתה דין לחשבון. מיין באת, לאן אתה הולך, לפני מי אתה דין לחשבון, לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא.
בגולה ובזמן קריב אמרו אמן.
הנה שמירה ולרב בעולם ולעולמי עולם.
השתבח ויתברך ויתעולם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שנה וחודשה בריבו. כל ברכתה ושירתה ושמחתה ונחמתה דמיירה בעולמה אמרו אמן. תהא שלום הרבה ושמיה וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל אמרו אמן. עשה שלום לכבודו ויעשה שלום עלינו כל ישראל אמרו אמן.
אנחנו יוצאים מהדלתות כאן ויורדים לבית העלמין. We're going out from these doors, going down to the cemetery. Anybody, friends, family who feel they want to carry Tom down to Kfar? אומר לאדוני, נחסים צורתי אלוהי יפתח בו, כי הוא יצילך מפח יחוש מדבר אבות, וברכה יעשך לך, אפתח כנפיו תחסה, צינה וסוחר עמיתו, לא תדע מפחד לילה, מחץ יעוף יומם, כי דבר באופן יהלוך, מקלטת ישוב צהריים, וכל בצלך, אלך וררה ממיניך, לך לא ייגש, עיניך תביט, ושלמת ישעים תראה, ואתה אדוני מחזיק, ביום שמת מעונך, לא תפנה לך רעה, ונגע לך בורך, תנא לך נמצא ולך, ושמך ותנתך, כפיים לשונך, ותגחת נדך, שחר ותפן, תגח תמסי, ותפן, תגיד השם ואחר תהיגו, ותדגו,
שומר, שומר ישראל, שומר, שומר ישראל, שמו שארית ישראל, שמו שארית ישראל, ועל יאבד ועל יאבד ועל יאבד ישראל, אומרים שמע ישראל. שומר, שומר ישראל.